All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Kings Divisional NFL Playoff Preview Show. I am your host, MeanGene Sports Machine, and oh my God, look who's joining me from Southern California. This guy worked with me on KWRM 1370. How about KRLA 870 in Los Angeles? And of course, he made various appearances on the Mean Gene Show on KDWN in Las Vegas. And we cannot forget about our great moments at Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas. Welcome to the show, Denny Sharma.
Hey, thanks, BJ. Thanks for having me. You making it sound, I think we sound good because we outlasted all those places. They ain't around no more.
Yeah, I think KRLA is. I don't know what format they use now. I think they used to be a news talk radio station or what have you. I don't know about KWRM, but man, yeah, we've been around. Hey, I didn't even mention KHPY in Moreno Valley, huh?
Okay, happy. Yeah.
K Happy. That
Yeah.
was our first station, man. But anyway, Denny, look, your background says it all, man. It is the NFL Divisional playoff weekend. We have two games here this Saturday. We're recording this show Saturday morning, so we're gonna make sure we get this out for people so they can enjoy before the games kick off this afternoon and tonight. And then we got two big games tomorrow, and we're gonna go ahead and just give you some of the what do we call it? The Cliff Notes, our Cliff Notes version of what
hmm
might happen this weekend.
The trailer.
Exactly. Because now we feel free to go and watch our full Sports Kings prediction show, division round prediction show, which Jacob Meadows just told me this morning. I did not put that show up. We got the video show us out there. The whole show is not up, so we'll get that out there for you so you can kind of see what we predicted here. But me and Denny, we just kind of break things down and talk about things that we didn't talk about on that show. So Denny, we got the let's just go ahead and set the stage for what's going to be happening here. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos. That's a 4:30 Eastern time on CBS Paramount. And then later on this evening, wait a minute, am I getting this right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So later on this evening, we have the NFC divisional playoffs, and that's going to be the number 6 seed San Francisco at the number 1 seed Seattle. That's 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. And then on Sunday, 3 p.m., we have the Texans at the New England Patriots. That's going to be on ESPN, ABC, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then later on that night, good nightcap game here, the number 5 seed Los Angeles Rams at the number 2 seed Windy City Chicago Bears, 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow night on NBC, Denny. So there are 4 great games here. We got 8 teams left. By the end of this weekend, we will know who's going to be the final 4 of the NFL, which sets up next week's NFL championship games.
Yeah. Get ready, lock in, and be a nice 3-day weekend. This is good. This is what it's all about. NFL playoffs. Man. Get ready. And we got
Absolutely,
some.
man.
Yeah, we had
Well,
some nail biters last week during wild card, so I'm expecting a little bit more. 4 more nail biters this weekend. So let's
how,
do it.
how did you fare out in the wild cards? I went 5-1, and the one game I lost was not the Pittsburgh Steelers and Texans like everyone assumed, but it was actually the 49ers and the Eagles. I just thought the Eagles would do a whole lot better than what they did.
Yeah, I think I was probably 500 because I had the Packers, which much prop to the Bears coming back. I had I had the Eagles too, so props to the Niners for making it through. And then the AFC, I had the Texans, but I had the Bills going down, which obviously they made it through with Josh Allen. So um, I mean that's what you like though. You want to see a wild card weekend where it's every game is less than a 7 point final score, except for Monday night, of course. But
Mhm.
I mean, it's been a while. Usually been blowouts on the wild card weekend. So it was good watching, good ratings. excitement left and right, and really set us up for this weekend. So really looking
Yeah.
forward to some great matchups.
Yeah, and in between all of that, of course, some of the news. I want to get your thoughts on Mike Tomlin deciding to step down after 19 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had Brian DiArdo from CBSSports.com, senior writer. He chimed in. He covers the AFC North, so and it was a crazy conversation because there's only one head coach in the AFC North right now, and
Yeah,
that's Zach Taylor.
I mean, it's just crazy how many open jobs. We're talking about 8 jobs on the highest level, and two of the legends, Tomlin and Harbaugh. I mean, I've been in corporate America for a long time, Gene, and this just reminds me of if it's not working, you make a change. You make a change now, right? You don't really. There's not a lot of leeway or like a lot of time for people to figure it out anymore. So while though Tomlin and Harbaugh were there for a long time, each in their own respective ways, Tomlin's that record is amazing. But it's the same record every year. So or the same results every
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
So if that was in a big company, they would say, well, all right, we need to make a change and try to get better, of course. And same thing with Harbaugh. Um, but both became top prospects in other places. And sometimes you just need a change. I mean,
Mhm.
Belichick didn't start in New England. All the legends didn't start at where they ended. So maybe this is the pivot that Tomlin needs to really make it over the top. Even though he's got one championship, but and Harbaugh too. Maybe this is something else. They both need to ride off into the sunset. And Harbaugh landing in New York possibly, or I think that's confirmed, right? I think it's, and from what I've been hearing, they're super, super excited in New York, and I think that's a great spot for him to land and use his talents. Not rebuilding, he already got a
Right,
nucleus
right.
to work with. So, being in the NFC East, they better watch out. New York should
Oh, I know.
quickly become a challenger.
Absolutely, Denny. And I like how you brought up the corporate aspect of this because look, I mean, it's just like some people in the corporate world will change jobs.
Hmm.
I have been one of those. I have not stayed in any one place for 20 plus years, and some people do that. Some people do that, and they have to, and they retire, they leave. So it's no difference in coaching. I don't know. Sometimes people get really stunned that it's a big change. Well, this happens in everyday life. People decide to walk away after a certain time, and organizations they move on, right? They get on to where they need to go. But yeah, we had a great conversation, and Brian gave his thoughts on what Tomlin might do, and what we already know what Harbaugh is considering doing, getting just jumping right back into the frying pan, so to speak. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, and uh, as we move on through these playoffs and get past the Super Bowl, I'm sure these openings, current NFL openings, we'll have a little bit more to discuss about it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, hey, but now let's talk about what's about to go down here in 5 or so hours with the first NFL divisional games here. We have the Buffalo Bills. They are going as a 6 seed, going to the Denver Broncos, who is the overall number 1 seed here, Jenny. And I mean, times have changed. Buffalo Bills. Then we talked about them the other night, man, where this is an opportunity for them to sort of, I'm not going to say it's easier for them because Denver's defense is pretty solid. But look, man, you don't have a Patrick Mahomes, you don't have a Joe Burrow, you don't have a Lamar Jackson to go through if you're the Buffalo Bills. But you do have Sean Payton, and you got a pretty good Denver defense. So this is going to be an interesting game today.
Oh yeah, I mean you hear that over and over again, talking about how Josh Allen really doesn't have an excuse this time, right? And if at any time this is it, so there's two sides. One side is saying, all right, well, Josh, Allen, Bills, this is your chance. You ain't got none of those players that you just mentioned you have to go through, so the path is a little easier. But the other side is, well, is it really a challenge that he isn't going through those? Well, I mean, that's why we do these shows, because there's
Mhm.
always two sides to it, right? So the side that's saying, he should have to go through those to be a legitimate champion. But like you said at the beginning, times have changed. Denver Broncos, number one seed. Sean Payton's not new to this. Bo Nix is
No.
new, but
Yeah.
one might say, well, it's time for the new guys to come around. Well, Josh Allen's never been there, never been to the big game, so it's still going to be new for whoever ends up going this year. So, I don't like either one of those theories, because you play with the games that you are given, right? So, and
Yeah. Yeah.
don't let I would tell don't think the Bills don't that it's not easier. That Broncos defense is solid, and Sean Payton's a mastermind. There's a reason why he got the number one seed. They won 10 games in a row during the season, so this isn't going to be a pushover or easy road. And I mean, if it's his time to shine, I mean, he's still playing against the best teams in 2025, 2026. So it should be fun. And playing in Denver, the cold, everybody says that people get acclimated to it. I mean, it's kind of making it a level playing field, because the spread just kept changing back and forth between the Bills and the Broncos. I think it's sitting at -1 right now for the Broncos. So both
Wow.
sides feel very, very confident about no matter where they're playing.
Yeah, Denver. I mean, Buffalo definitely not a stranger to cold weather. So, how about this? In the 2024 wild card round last season in Buffalo, the Bills defeated the Broncos 31-7, and Buffalo has won both postseason meetings against Denver, including, I'm going way back now, 1991 AFC Championship game. And then they went on and advanced to the Super Bowl. We all know the story about the Buffalo Bills. Four straight Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Four, man. That is just crazy. And lost them all. Now, some people could say, damn, how'd you lose all four? And then some people are amazed that, man, you went to four straight. So it's
yeah,
depending on how you look at it.
exactly. There's a 30 for 30 or a documentary on that, where as a youngster I remember watching ESPN, and the fans in Buffalo were even saying, "I hope we don't go this year after the third one. I hope we don't go this year," because they're just tired of the heartbreak of getting there. But you're right. I mean, many Hall of Famers were on that team.
Oh
To
my
say
God.
they've been number two 4 years in a row is no, not many can say that, if anybody can say that. So it's pretty impressive, even though there was nothing to show at the end. But some you know runner-up championships. But out of 30 teams at the time, it being number two, I mean, that's still pretty impressive to go four in a row.
You think Denver remembers that 31-7 spanking at the hand of the Bills? And so what's your outlook on this particular game here?
I think it comes. I mean, postseason is always about experience. So in position for position, yeah, Josh Allen has a little bit more experience. Never been to the promised land, and I don't think they're giving Bo Nix enough credit. I think he's obviously played. He played a couple extra years in college than most would, but so he came in maybe a little bit more prepared than your typical rookie. But the experience, I think, comes down to the coaching. I think Sean Payton's going to have his team ready. And even though the Bills, if players play the game, I think the Broncos might have a better game plan. Slight edge of being at home versus in Buffalo, but I got Bo Nix and the Broncos pulling it out with a field goal at the end.
Wow, that's interesting, Diddy. I believe the other night I picked the Bills because of that window of opportunity and that experience that you talked about. Look, man, it's now or never for the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion.
Yep,
They
yep,
have to find a way to punch it in because things are just going to get tougher and tougher. Joe Burrow will be back next year. I mean, who knows? The AFC is the AFC. So let's take a look at this nightcap here. The Seattle Seahawks at home hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Now, look, they split the season series with the 49ers earning a week one victory. That was, week one in Seattle, 17-13. And then the Seahawks winning in week 18. to actually clinch the NFC West division title and the number one seed. So, man, what a convenient way how that ended. You getting that Week 18 game that decided it all, which still shocked on how the 49ers just didn't really play with a sense of urgency, knowing what was on the line in that game. But here we are. They go to Philly, they beat Philly, and now the third time you're playing a division opponent.
Yeah, there's a lot of storylines between this one. You mentioned a couple of them already, and you and I sitting around talking trash, talking all the stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, but what we do see on the surface is, you know, divisional rivals, and you're exactly right. I don't think the Niners realize how. I mean, I know they do realize how valuable a week off was, as the Seahawks are coming off a bye week. Because Kittle got dinged up and it looks like he's not playing this week. But then you got the Sam Darnold report that he might not. He's struggling with his oblique, that
Right.
he's going to play, but this is still we still got 10, 11 hours before game time. That that might change. Or let's say he does run out in the field in the first quarter and gets banged up, and then what? So having a week off for them, it's almost like what would have happened if it was the other way around, right? So it's interesting that one having a bye week, they should be coming in strong, but all these reports are coming out. It's still, at the end of the day, it's a divisional game. There's a lot on the line. Niners are hungry. I think we've said it many times. Surprise are always here. They somehow find a way to get here.
I know.
Their defense is banged up. No Ayuk, which, from the beginning of the year, we're like, well, that's your number one guy. And then somehow they made it without Ayuk.
Amazing.
McCaffrey's doing his thing. But I heard it as well. Brock Purdy this, Brock Purdy that. But, the Niners aren't here if it's not for Mac Jones, stepping in. So while, they have a safety net there. If something were to happen to Brock Purdy during the game, but Sam Darnold, it's Sam Darnold or nothing, I think. So it's going to be rough if he doesn't come out to play. I like Seattle all the way up to Thursday, and then
I know. Tell me about it.
Then when the news came out, I'm not a big Niner fan, but I think they might pull this one out, and it's gonna be a big upset, back to back, right? They beat the defending champs, which is
and look, Robert Salo's back over there coaching that defense, man. That is, I mean, Shanahan, man, that's just a bonus. You would need a defensive coordinator like Robert Saleh to get through all of those injuries. So this guy is looking at, okay, we don't have our studs. We got to go with the next man up mentality. It's been that all year long for the 49ers. But Sam Darnold injury couldn't have came at a worse time. And look, I picked Seattle to win. I still look, you got Charbonnet, you got Kenneth Walker. So, I mean, you got some options. But look, they do not want, who is it, Drew Lock, the backup quarterback. If Drew Lock has to play this game, man, this is not going to be good for Seattle at all, number one seed or not. Somehow, if they can get Sam Darnold on that field, they're going to have to. And Kenneth Walker, and maybe you just pound him with the ground game. If he can throw, he can throw. It's going to be interesting to see. But I like Seattle in this game for now. I can't flip flop, so I'm going to stick with them.
I hear you. It's hard to go. It's hard to judge a game or bet even on a game like this when the injuries could be so huge when it comes to the quarterback position. So I think the bettors aren't changing. The line's still at -7 for the Seahawks. So we should see. But if the Niners do pull it off, it would be an amazing run to beat the Seahawks, and then potentially either the Rams or Chicago in those two places. So just to get home to play the Super Bowl in San Francisco. So
I mean, come on, there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
So we can see, and not to say that Seattle don't have a defense either. Now, I mean, they defense is responsible for getting them where they are. So I expect maybe a low-scoring game, a ground game with we'll see what happens here. So
Yep.
those are the Saturday games. So real quick, we'll jump into the Sunday divisional round games, which will kick off at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN ABC. That's the Texans, the number 5 seed, going into New England Patriots, the number 2 seed. Um, you know, tell you what, man, this is going to be good. Patriots, knocked off the Chargers. That defense held the Chargers to 3 points in the wild card weekend. We all saw what the Texans did. That defense put up a couple of touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers in that 36 route. They actually earned their first road playoff win in franchise history, and got a lot of first here. They could, if they beat the Patriots tomorrow, they could make it to the AFC Championship game for the first time. Uh, but Drake May and Mike Vrabel, man, what an amazing season in his first year with New England.
Yeah, these are both. We were talking about old faces, new kids on the block. These are both new kids on the block, right? So Patriots is another one, 10-game win streak throughout the season. You could say it's an easier schedule, but they played who they had to play. But either C.J. Stroud or Drake May, one of those two is going to be in the AFC Championship. That's pretty.
One of them. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So props to both teams for getting it this far, and with the new kids. I mean, I love watching Drake May play. And C.J. Stroud's a SoCal kid, so love watching him play too.
Yeah.
But I hate the fact that they have to go to a big game like this without Nico Collins as their number one receiver.
Yeah, I know.
Out with the concussion. So again, the injuries, it's about who can make it the longest or last the longest and withstand. And the next man up, you said earlier, and next man up, whoever it is, whoever steps
Christian
up.
Kirk.
Yeah, but
Kirk.
that experience again is going to play a role. But they're both new kids, so we'll see who can shine. And my feeling is my gut tells me Drake May it's his coming out party. That's what I think.
Wow.
CJ, you might have another year left before you can get back to the glory days.
And see, that don't even sound fair, knowing that CJ is the more experienced of the two.
So by a year,
Patriots today, huh?
Yeah, by a year he's got more experience. But Drake May is, that kid is.
I know, man.
He's amazing.
I know. So, hey, Patriots won 8 consecutive divisional playoff games. Look, we remember from January 2012 all the way through 2019, and that's a long streak there. And of course, New England has defeated Houston in both previous seasons, postseason meetings, which the 2012 and 2016. That was a while back. But look, I got the Texans going to the AFC Championship game. Look, it could be a homer pick because I'm here in Houston, right? So, and they beat my team. So what can I do now but join them, right? At this point. So I'm going to go with that defense. I'm going to say that Texans defense is going to rattle Drake May's cage a little bit. They're going to have to if they want to get out of there with a win.
Yes, sir.
All right, Denny. Now let's talk about the nightcap game that's going to take place. And on Sunday night, NBC, Peacock, Telemundo. Look, we got to say it all. We want to make sure everybody can see this damn game, right? So we're going to tell you where you can find it. Okay, so it's the number 5 Los Angeles Rams. They got the number 5 seed. They're going into the Windy City to take on the Chicago Bears, who, good Lord, man, overcome a 18-point deficit, their largest in Bears history, to win in a game against the Packers that did not look like they were going to win.
That was amazing. And there's so many so many Southern California ties here. We just talked about C.J. Stroud. We talked about, obviously, the West Coast and the Niners. Sam Darnold, Seahawks, USC grad. And again, Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. You can talk there's a lot of haters out there about Caleb, but I'll tell you, I went back and watched the fourth quarter comeback. I was watching it, but then when you went back and looked at the passes that Caleb Williams made, that he had to make, those weren't lucky passes. Those weren't, you know, the receivers didn't save him. He nailed some of those passes that
He
had to
did.
happen.
He did.
And calm under pressure, 25 points in the fourth quarter. I mean,
Crazy.
all against the Packers, who were so upset at themselves. They didn't give any credit to the Bears. They blamed themselves for giving up, as they should. But for Caleb to perform like he did, that was amazing
It was
to
amazing,
see
Denny.
that.
It was amazing in a sense that look, it's been their mantra the entire season. But man, now you're going up against Sam Donald and the Los Angeles Rams. The
Matt
Rams are
Stafford.
and Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. I mean, they both have won a Super Bowl together. Ben Johnson, hell of a job first year. Just like Mike Vrabel, give it up to I don't know who's going to be the coach of the year. That's going to be pretty incredible to see. But look, Denny, I took the Rams in this because I'm just going with the experience. Now I hear the weather is supposed to be horrendous.
Under
Uh,
10, yeah, under 10
now
degrees.
they predicted that last week also, and the weather wasn't as bad. It did have somewhat of an impact on I think was it McManus who couldn't get the field goals, but it's going to be different. I mean I haven't got the latest weather forecast, but I hear it's supposed to be brutal. But let me remind you, the Rams went to Philadelphia last year and almost beat the Eagles in some bad weather. So don't worry about. I know the Rams play in a somewhat dome. you know,
Hmm.
that's not going to matter, man. These guys at this point in the season, I'm going with the experience. I'm going with the Rams to get the win over the Bears. Bears are still going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC North.
And I didn't mention on the last game, but I think the Bears, the Patriots, the Texans, and even the Broncos, like we talk about window of opportunity. I think the Rams, I mean, they're in prime time, right? This is it where, I have the feeling like if something, I mean, how many more years does Stafford has, right? But I think for those four teams that I just mentioned, that there would an opportunity. They're going to be around for a while, is what I feel. Right? I feel like that they're just touching the surface of being in these type of games, right? I mean, maybe a little hungover from last week of making that comeback, but playing at home. I'm with you on the experience. I think in this case, it's just going to be too much. It's going to be too many strategical plays that if the Rams come up or go up big on the Packers did on the Bears, the Rams aren't that kind of team that's going to give it up. So I'm with you on the Rams and experience, but I think Caleb and Ben Johnson and the Bears will be back. I think Bo Nix, I think Drake May, C.J. Stroud, they got bright futures. We should have started with Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford. Those windows of opportunity are really
They're
getting
closing, and
yeah.
even though Stafford has a Super Bowl, so I'm not saying that he doesn't want another one to solidify his Hall of Fame career because he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. But
Yep.
Josh Allen's not only doing it for Josh Allen. Josh Allen has the whole weight of the Buffalo Bills history to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to,
No doubt.
to overcome. So that's going to be interesting. But Denny, how about one quick thing here before we go? Two head coaches, 39 years old. I mean, is this Sean McVay, Ben Johnson? They are going to be around for a long time. If they're at this point in their career in divisional round games, man, the future looks bright for the two coaches. Whether Stafford, with definitely Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. That's why I say they will be around for a while.
Yeah. I mean, what's that say about us? They're doing that at 39, or what are we doing?
We're sitting there talking about what we couldn't do, what we can't do now, and what we should have been doing back then.
Yeah,
I don't know,
living the
39.
life.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, at 39, yeah, to be a head coach, man, that's just extraordinary, man. That's
Well,
so you got these. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, he's been around for McVay's been around for what 10 years, so he started at 29 doing this.
He seems like he's like it should be in his 50s. I mean, just the way he's so aggressive. So Denny, man, that's gonna wrap it up here, man. Look here, we're making just crazy growth here on the Sports King Show, and that's because of our prediction show and the shows that me and Denny do here. You have shared our shows, you commented on our shows, and you've liked them, and obviously you are subscribing. So keep that up. Let everyone know that subscribe to the show and all that great stuff. But then we're going to go ahead and get on out of here and get ready for the NFL playoff games here a little bit later. I got some chores. You know what Saturday is chores, right? You got to do things before you can sit down and enjoy a good game like today. So we'll see you back here next week, Denny. We wrap up and see who's heading to the AFC and the NFC Championship games.
Yes, sir. Have a great weekend, MeanGene.
All right, you too, Denny. Folks, we are out.